who could make it today and those who are watching in the future. My name is Melissa with Team Culture, and we're happy to host another Program Spotlight. Program Spotlight gives us a chance to highlight the wonderful work and people who make BH Care what it is. Today, we are spotlighting the Umbrella Center for Domestic Violence Services. For those unable to make it today or would like to review a program that has been spotlighted, Program Spotlight is being recorded and will be posted on the program's respective services on BH Connect by the end of this week. For example, today's Spotlight program on the Umbrella Center for Domestic Violence Services will be under Domestic Violence Services page on BH Connect. I'll pass it over to Esperina, the Director of Domestic Violence Programs, to introduce her staff.
Hi, everyone. My name is Esperina Stubblefield, and we have with us today Cindy Carlson, who's the Program Manager for our Community Services, and Colleen Patrick, the Program Manager for our Residential Services and Supported Housing, and Andrea O'Connor, who's the Program Manager for Family Victims Advocates at the courts, which is Milford, Derby, and New Haven Port. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon. My name is Cindy, and I'm the Program Manager of the Community Services. And I just want to talk a little bit about the community section of the Umbrella Program. And the purpose of it is to provide trauma-responsive, client-defined, and strength-based safety planning, supportive counseling, advocacy, and case management for people directly impacted by domestic violence. We also provide domestic violence education and access to resources to our community, and the population that we serve is adults and their children victimized by domestic violence. Our locations and hours, as you see here on the form here, is offices in Shelton and New Haven, 8:30 to 4:30 weekdays. And we do have availability for people to walk in those sites. We also have a DV crisis hotline, which is available 24/7 throughout Connecticut, through Connecticut Safe Connect. Eligibility requirements of persons victimized by domestic violence. So meet our team. For the community services team in the Valley area, we have Leslie, Graciela, and Daniela, and we have one open position. And then in the New Haven and Greater New Haven and Shoreline area, we have Stephanie, Rachel, Monica, Jennifer, Margarita, Burnell, and Brenna, and with 2 other vacant positions. So this is the team members of the Umbrella Center under the Community Services Program. Our referral process is people can call the hotline directly, and you'll see right here, there's the phone number for the hotline, which is overseen by the Safe Connect. It's our direct lines that are being pushed to Safe Connect so they can triage the calls and assist with crisis situations immediately. And then they forward those calls and those needs of people to the Umbrella Program. Persons who need services can also call our office for accessing services. And you'll see the number here as well. And that's Monday through Friday during office hours, which is 8:30 to 4:30. If you have a client that you're working with who needs services, you can, encourage them to call directly. But if they want to call back, the concern is it safe for them to get a call back. So please look into safety planning with them regarding that callback, so they can have a safe callback. We can, provide code words for the call so they would know who's calling them if they want that set up. Okay. So within our program, we have multiple services that are available through the community. So we have not only the 24/7 hotline that's accessible for people in the community, but also we have counseling. And the counseling is focused on the domestic violence and the needs of the domestic violence issue. We also have access to legal services, which would be attorneys like through New Haven Legal Aid. So it's the pro bono work. can be had as well for some people. And then also, we share the responsibility for the temporary restraining orders with the FEBAs. But in the greater New Haven area, that's where we're going to be going to the New Haven court for TROs. We have an advocate, which is Monica, who focuses on that, but all staff are able to provide those services. We also have the Cherish program, which is focused on people who are 60 and above. And the idea for that is the specialized services that may impact people as we go through our lives with adult children or needing other people to be a support to us and can put us at risk for domestic violence. We also have community education. Rachel is our community educator, and she provides education to the public. And through those interactions, she's able to spread the word about the services that are available through the umbrella, as well as the impact of domestic violence and the importance in our community. We also have the LAP program, and the LAP is the lethality assessment program, which is very important to our outreach with law enforcement to the community. Officers, when going on scene for a domestic violence call, do a risk assessment, and if the assessment comes up at high risk, they will be calling an advocate. And then we will work with that person directly on scene. We have an expansion to that program going on right now. And not only are we able to provide case management through our community work, but also we are starting to have an advocate located at some of the police departments moving forward. Rena is that person. She's going to be working second shift. Also, we have volunteer intern process, and then we have the DOVE classes, which are available for people who have been arrested for domestic violence, a low-level arrest, and they're seen really as a primary victim when they go through the court systems, and they can be referred to our program for supportive work around what they're experiencing and recognizing impact of the domestic violence on their family, talking about things like aggressive versus assertiveness, safety planning, red flags, things of that nature, so people become more educated on what choices they have moving forward. So the focus with us is to try to provide client-defined goal setting where they determine what they want to see happen next. And sometimes it's an area where people need to have time to think about it. And sometimes they don't have time to think about it, and it's a crisis situation. So we have to be able to move within whatever the client defines as the most important next step. So that is in a quick nutshell the community services, but we're going to move on to Colleen next.
Colleen, you're on mute.
Sorry. Okay, I'll start over. Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen, the Program Manager of Residential Services and Supportive Housing for Families. As Cindy said, I oversee the shelters at the umbrella as well as the supportive housing for families. Why is my camera off? Is my camera off? Oh, okay. She's saying something. And the rapid rehousing. Today, I'm also going to focus on just the rapid rehousing and the shelters, since that's really mostly that's DV related. The supportive housing is a contract we hold through the connection. So the program's purpose of the shelter is to provide safety and temporary shelter to victims of domestic violence. We serve, men, women, and children. It doesn't matter if they're not female. If we can't have a space for them in the shelter, then we'll put them in a hotel if we need to. It's really a case-by-case situation. We don't automatically just put people in a hotel. We really try to utilize other shelters in the area if we need to. The locations and hours, it is confidential, so I can't tell you there. I just know that we have 2 shelters. One covers the New Haven area and one covers the Valley area. They are both 15 beds. but sometimes we can fit more or less, depending on the size of the family. We are considered 24/7, so there is always staff available to clients if they need us. And to be eligible, it really just need to be a victim of domestic violence and in need of shelter services. Okay, and the rapid rehousing. So rapid rehousing is fairly new, not super new to us, but probably about 2 years now. That is for any victim of domestic violence who is in need of rapid rehousing and or rapid exit services. The process is a little bit different than our hotline. They don't necessarily have to come through our hotline, but they are usually working with a counselor under Cindy's supervision, or they're in our shelter services. They do a referral, or we do a referral, and they get put on our wait list. It's not as rapid as we would like it to be, because we have a lot of referrals. That program it provides housing assistance to victims of domestic violence for a period of a year. There is some extensions, but the max they can do is up to 2 years. The population served, again, is any victim of domestic violence in need of temporary housing assistance. I do want to say that temporary housing assistance, it's not, we don't fully pay their rent. It is a subsidy that we provide for them. The first 6 months is 30%. The client will pay 30% of their income, and the last 6 months is 60% of their income. And they pay their own utilities. Locations and hours. We have one staff member currently working, and her hours are 8 to 4. And I'll introduce her on here on the next slide. And eligibility is any DV client in need of housing assistance. Meeting the team. So I have highlighted on here our full-time people. I have several positions that are per diem staff and part-time staff, but I highlighted our full-time people. In our Greater New Haven shelter, we have Katie Sperry, who's our lead residential counselor. She works 7 to 3, Monday through Friday. We have a vacant second shift position and a vacant third shift position there. And then we have Jane Ademic, who is our family advocate. She works with the families and the children. At the Valley Shelter, we have Maria L. Rivera, who's our lead residential counselor. Jordan Williams, who is our second shift advocate. She works 3 to 11. And our third shift is vacant. And Lizzie Flight is our family advocate working with the families and the children. And for our rapid rehousing, we have Brianna Diamond. She's our rapid rehousing specialist. And we have a vacant position there. Internal referral process. So there's no real process for a referral to shelter, with the exception of going through the hotline. For anyone here who's from the clinic, if, again, like what Cindy said, if you have a client that is in need of our services, you can just call over to our office. The number is 780-2037, and you'll be connected immediately to one of Cindy's staff. And if it's about shelter, they'll do an intake with them and then call me for it. Or our client can call our 24-hour hotline, which Cindy put on the other slides. I don't have any fun facts, so I'm going to pass it on to Andrea, who is our court advocate, our court manager.
So hi, everyone. My name is Andrea. I am the Family Violence Victim Advocate Program Manager here at the Umbrella. So I supervise the court-based victim advocates that we have. So our purpose is to provide support, information, referral, and services to victims of domestic violence that are referred by the court. So once a family violence arrest has been made, we are basically the liaison between the victim and the court. We're explaining the court process to them, helping them obtain a protective order, explaining their rights as a victim throughout the process in court, and being their voice in the courtroom. We are also there to provide linkage back to the agency for any services that they need outside of the criminal justice process, like shelter, restraining orders, counseling, things like that. So we are located in 3 different courthouses. We have advocates in New Haven Court, Milford Court, and Derby Court. So our eligibility requirements are basically you need to be identified as a victim by the police in a family violence arrest, and you're automatically referred to our office at the arraignment stage. So we cover the greater New Haven and Shoreline area and the Valley with those 3 courthouses. And we are during the day. So our hours are either 8 to 4 or 8:30 to 4:30. But the hotline is available for after hours for any questions as well. So our referral process is the police must make an arrest. We don't get involved until that arrest has been made. We receive our referrals from the Family Relations Division of the court. They are part of that intervention unit. So they give us all the police reports from the arrests the night before, and we are immediately reaching out to those clients, and that is how they become involved with us. We remain with the clients from the arraignment stage all the way through the resolution of the case, however it ends, whether it be a program, whether it be a conviction, or whether the case goes all the way to trial. We are with that victim every step of the way. So for the team, I'm sorry, we don't have photos because there's too many of us in each location. So we put up the courthouses. So we have Derby Court, where we have Luz, our full-time advocate, and Barbara Bellucci, our part-time advocate. In New Haven, that is where I'm stationed, with Lori, Carrie, Helen, and Madison. I also have a vacant position in New Haven. And then in Milford Court, we have Ellen, who is a solo criminal advocate there. And then I also have Stacy in Milford, who does civil work. She does restraining orders. So if a client is in need of a restraining order, they can go to Milford Court and meet with Stacy, and she'll help with that paperwork. If someone is in need of a restraining order in New Haven, they would actually go through Cindy's program and work with Monica Cloud Rogers. So that is my team. So for a fun fact, I just kind of chose to talk about something that is kind of happening currently that we're working with. We have a new program that's starting called the Alert Notification GPS program. And it is a program that is reserved for high-risk domestic violence offenders. So once they are identified in court as being high risk, the offender can be put on a GPS to monitor their whereabouts, and there are exclusionary zones around the victim's home, work, wherever else she wants a zone. And there's also the opportunity for the victim to carry their own GPS device to create a mobile zone around that victim. So if there's any violations of these zones, the victim is notified, as well as law enforcement. So this is a program that's been around for several years in 3 other jurisdictions. But in the last legislative session, we finally got approval to roll this program out through the rest of the state, and our jurisdictions are up first. So we have been in training for about the last 2 months, all the different stakeholders. Milford actually launched today. So they are hopefully going to have people placed in this program today. Derby starts in 2 weeks, followed by New Haven next month. So we're very excited about this program as it will help enhance victim safety through the court process.
Nice.
So that's basically all I have. Basically, we're working with the clients through that court process and making sure that they have someone there to guide them through it, as it is a very, complex and scary place, and we just try to make it easier for them.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? They certainly could unmute themselves or put it in the chat.
Hi, Elaine.
Hey, do you guys have staff at the Hope Family Justice Center?
So the Hope Family Justice Center is staffed. Paula and Juliet work over there now
Right.
on that side, and then Cindy's staff are on the other side.
Okay, okay. I knew you were all one somehow.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated. Maybe Cindy can.
Yeah, I think the important thing is that the Hope Family Justice Center is a model of a specific model that's, as Paula spoke, I believe, a couple weeks ago regarding the power of the model, and it's been copied throughout the world. Actually, it's in different countries, but it's really getting an uptake in the US as well as Connecticut. And so Connecticut now has 3 family justice centers. And the idea is that people have access to resources very quickly. And if you go back and view Paula's presentation, you'll see the details and the intricacy and the work that goes into making these collaborative partnerships available for victims of domestic violence, so they can come and get access to partners very quickly. So the Umbrella Center, as far as the New Haven area, the Umbrella Center is stationed right at the Hope Family Justice Center. We're in that location, and so people can get services right at that office.
Yeah, that was my question. Thank you.
Any last questions? Raise your hands or you can put it in the chat. I don't see any. All right, here's everybody's contact information. You could reach out to them if you have any questions. And we want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you, Esperina, Colleen, Cindy, and Andrea for coming. Team Culture would like to thank everyone for coming to our Umbrella Center Domestic Violence Service Spotlight. If you have any program specific questions, please reach out to Cindy for community services, Colleen for residential services, or Andrea for court advocacy services directly. Team Culture is aiming to increase the number of spotlights each month. So please be on the lookout for Team Culture emails. And again, a recording of this program Spotlight will be posted under the Domestic Violence Services page on BH Connect by the end of the week. Anyone interested in joining Team Culture, please reach out to Ebony, Emily, or Cooper. Thank you again for attending and have a great rest of the day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.